Hello everyone and welcome back to our 5th episode of the BinkCast Podcast. My name is David and as always I'm here with Ben, and on today's episode we'll start with some news from the past week. Then Ben's got a fun game for me. I'm curious to see what it's all about. And then we're going to finish off talking about what we've seen so far in the NHL playoffs and how we think the first rounds are going to finish off. Alright, so let's start with some drama in the LA Lakers organization, shall we?
Yeah, that's right. So if you've been keeping up with recent NBA news, or if you're not, that's why we're here. We are some source of news, I guess you could say. But recently in the Los Angeles Lakers, there's been a lot of, like you said, drama, coaching and sort of organizational issues. I mean, obviously, we can talk about their players and the sort of the struggles they've been having in the season, but let's start with Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
What happened there?
Yep, so for those of you who don't know, Magic Johnson officially stepped down as their president of basketball operations. This role is sort of similar to the general manager, not to the exact extent, but that's mostly what we can associate it with. Mm-hmm. So I find it interesting that he didn't tell his boss that he was going to quit.
Yeah, when you read how it was done, it wasn't sort of, he didn't send in a notice. It was, you know what, I'm just not doing it anymore.
It wasn't the most professional way to end things.
And from a guy that's usually quite professional,
yeah,
it was quite a surprise to see him sort of just like... And you know what his reasoning was? His reasoning was he just wasn't having fun.
Yeah. Which
I don't think is the best reason to quit doing a job. I think if you're willing to commit to that, you got to stick with it, even when it's not the most fun. But
yep. Yeah. I've also found it interesting because I remember last year when he was talking about when he was trying to recruit LeBron to sign, he also said something along the lines of he would step down if he didn't bring a second star to LA. I remember hearing something about that. So I wonder if that's going to mean that he doesn't think anyone's going to want to come to the Lakers organization.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors about, the free agency of 2019 in the summer, right? Because I think Klay Thompson's free agent, Anthony Davis is a free agent?
I think he's the next year.
Paul George is a free agent, Kawhi Leonard. There's all these people that are being rumored to come to LA, but I mean, if Magic Johnson stepping down means...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also wouldn't blame him if they wouldn't want to go to the Lakers.
No.
At this point, right? We've seen, so far this last year was such a disaster, right? I mean, they didn't make the playoffs with a team that has LeBron James on it, which you would expect to be able to make the playoffs, essentially. Easier said than done. It's hard because I find two very different dynamics when it comes to their organization, right? They have the star that wants to win in LeBron, but they also do have a team that's trying to rebuild with Ball, Ingram, Kuzma, and Hart. Yeah. All these young guys that are said to have potential and it's a very promising future. So I just don't think that this roster in itself is going to win a championship.
I think they were trying to do two things at once.
Yeah.
I think they were initially like, you know what, we're in a rebuilding phase, we're going to get eventually up to it, and then LeBron's like, I want to go to LA, and they're like, you know what, we have to win now. We have to change our entire outline of what we were trying to do. So it does come off as if they were trying to do two things at once, and it just did not work. They finished with, 2 more wins than the last season?
One or two more, yeah. Nothing even huge. No. But I'd say it was definitely a disappointing season, because like you said, they're trying to do two things at once. Like what I mentioned, I think it was 2 weeks ago, just commit to one or the other. Trade your young guys for experienced guys, like they tried to do with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Or trade LeBron, maybe for Zion, if that first overall pick becomes available. If it becomes the Knicks,
he declared today, by the way.
Yep, he did. Official news. Because the Knicks are in one of the top spots for getting the draft pick. So if they do get the first overall pick and they want to sort of win by attracting Kyrie or Durant, trade LeBron there. I mean, who else would you want to really have on the team?
Durant, Kyrie.
Yeah, that would be a great combo.
Went from 0 to 100 if that's the case.
Yeah, so then even the Lakers would then commit to a rebuild, which they should do, because then you would have Lonzo Ball at the point guard, probably put Ingram at the 2. That's pretty big, but then I think Kuzma at the 3, Zion at the 4. You traded away Zubac, which is kind of rough. JaVale McGee, the true veteran leadership that you need. But yeah, I just don't think that the Lakers... I just think that they need to make a decision on what they want to do. Yeah. Because their current lineup isn't going to win them anything, and they also aren't going to lose enough to where they'll be able to get a good draft pick and rebuild.
Yeah.
I think it's the Lakers' mentality to always want to win championships, but I think now is a time to where it's like, okay, the Warriors are going to win every year as long as they keep their roster, which again, they're going to lose Cousins. I don't know what's going to happen with Durant, so I'm excited to see about that. But,
and Klay too.
Yeah, it's possible. So right now you aren't gonna beat them. So maybe just admit to a rebuild and go with that and try to win in 5 years with an amazing team that's going to eventually get good.
Yeah, your championship years are over.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, on top of Magic Johnson stepping down, I don't know if we want to move into this.
Sure.
Luke Walton, the head coach of the Lakers, agreed to part ways with the organization.
Yeah.
I think it was he knew he was getting fired.
Yeah.
So he agreed to mutually step down and part ways. Now, he has been taken on as the coach of Sacramento Kings.
Is that official?
Yeah. So he is the Sacramento Kings coach now. But, yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, you have to blame somebody, right?
So someone has to be at fault.
Someone has to be at fault, because with a team that has LeBron James that doesn't make the playoffs, because as we mentioned before, that's the first time since, what was it, 2005?
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason for that to happen. And I guess you aren't going to really blame any of the players. Like, as we saw when Dwayne Casey got fired last year, right? You have a team that should be good, but they aren't. They were never able to beat Cleveland last year when they should have, and they weren't able to really be successful. So I guess the idea behind the organization is we got to do something. We can't just allow this to happen year over year. So
Someone's got to take the hit.
Exactly. So that's why they chose to fire him. And if you saw it, Tyronn Lue is the front runner to become the head coach of the Lakers now. That he already interviewed them, I think. Which basically means that LeBron's going to be the head coach of the Lakers. Because Tyronn Lue, for those of you who don't know, was the head coach when LeBron was in Cleveland. So that's when a lot of the rumors came out to where basically LeBron was running the team. He was running the plays. He was trying to influence GM decisions, to where I think this is basically in line with the similar thing.
LeBron trying to get someone he knows he can take over.
Yeah, exactly. So he could be able to have more control over that.
Yeah. A puppet almost, if you will. Could be a funny way of putting it. But yeah, Lakers, we wish you the best of luck. But
yeah. Trade LeBron.
Trade LeBron.
That's my advice to you.
That's the BinkCast Podcast pro advice.
Trade LeBron.
You heard it here first.
Trade LeBron. Commit to the rebuild.
Exactly. Next, what do you have next?
Yeah, up next, in similar basketball news, the NBA playoffs started recently, and the Toronto Raptors had their first game against Saturday against the Orlando Magic. It was.
Yeah.
And there was one noticeable performance that wasn't necessarily as great as many would have liked. Kyle Lowry played for 34 minutes and shot 0 for 7 from the field and finished with 0 points. Ben, what do you think about that?
Obviously, I'm not thrilled.
Nope, me neither.
I am not happy with that. We lost the game 104 to 101, so 3-point difference, which against Orlando, I was not even expecting to have to worry. No. I thought it was going to be, they might get one game, and they still might only get one game, but I expected us to almost steamroll them with the way we've been playing. Right, second best record in the NBA, not just in the East, in the NBA, and Kyle Lowry goes and gets 0 points
on 34 minutes
on 34 minutes, and he's known for being.
Who do you think the second best player on the Raptors is?
Currently?
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam.
Currently, true.
but he made the All-Star
You would think that Kyle Lowry should be one of the top two, if not top three
with
players.
With the money he's getting.
Yeah, for sure. With definitely the money he's getting. Well, you could say the same thing about Ibaka, but that's a story for a different day.
I think Lowry made the All-Star team, and so you think, you're an All-Star, you should put up...
An All-Star should get a basket.
Yeah, honestly, at least a basket. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen Lowry and I guess DeRozan back when he was playing kind of choke almost.
Yeah, sort of not show up. Yeah, I was very curious about that because I know that's a common thread I've seen on Twitter. But looking back, he averaged around 17 points in the playoffs. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, which was better than his regular season.
I mean, his playoff average, his playoff career stats is 17.6 points.
Yeah, which is not bad at all.
No, it's not. And I think that goes along with 6.2 assists, and I have 4.5 rebounds here, which that's not a bad stat line for the playoffs. I mean, obviously you want more production, but
it's just the inconsistency. I think is the main problem.
Yeah, you're right. I think he shoots about 41% roughly from the field.
Again, which isn't bad, but again, I think if the Raptors are gonna try to compete, it's gonna be this year.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
The Bucks are only young; they're only gonna get better. Meanwhile, we could. I think likely we'll lose Kawhi Leonard as well. So that's just, if we're going to win, this year is going to be the year to do it. If not, we should commit to a rebuild. But I know, I just think Lowry's the guy that needs to step up the most out of anybody on the team, right? I would say, when I was looking at his stats, if he could somehow average 20 points and 10 assists as a stat line, something you may expect from an All-Star, we should have no trouble getting to the playoffs. Yeah, getting to the finals.
I was talking with someone today, and they were saying, it was Sam. Someone was saying, he was saying, do you know out of all of Lowry's first games of the first round of the playoffs, first games of a playoff series, how many points he's totaled?
Totaled? No, how much?
30-something.
In 5 years in the playoffs?
5 years of the playoffs.
And we haven't lost in the first round every year.
No.
So it's the first game of every series.
And Kawhi got almost that last night.
Something
2 nights ago, yeah.
Listen.
What is that?
Listen, if you're going to be an all-star in the NBA, you need to be more consistent in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, he did come out and say, just because he didn't score doesn't mean he didn't play basketball. He didn't play well. But, If the playoffs, I do believe that, like, yes, you don't need to have points to be a good basketball player, but if you're trying to win a playoff,
that's kind of how you win games, isn't it?
That's how you get.
How many assists did he have? Do you have that at all?
I will find it for you.
Yeah, because I guess assists could count towards points created for the team, but if you're a guy, you're a starting point guard that made the All-Star team, you should be scoring at least 10 points a game.
He had 8 assists.
8 assists. So again, that's minimum averaging 16 points.
Yeah,
accounted for.
And you should have points with those 8 assists.
Yeah.
Ideally to like really get production.
I won't say that's likely why we lost the first game. If he was able to score 4 points, theoretically we would have won because we only lost by 2. Right? So we only lost by 3.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we had 4 points, we would have won. But that's just something that I'm sure we're not the only people talking about this, right? It's something that's on his mind. And he has the ability to play well. We've seen good games out of him. It's just the consistency is the main thing. You see these superstar talents like LeBron and Kawhi, they're able to elevate their game consistently.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lowry is a guy that's sort of on and off. That's why people aren't the biggest fan of him all the time. Because he's not always able to be the star that your team needs. Every championship team has one superstar player and a few, 2, maybe 3 all-stars usually.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
I guess the Cavaliers could be a bit of an exception when they won, to where there was LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. They're still good.
Yeah.
But to where, with the Raptors, you're going to need, Kawhi's going to be your superstar.
Yeah.
Your all-stars could be Siakam, for sure. Lowry should be.
Ibaka should be with the money we're getting.
With the money we're paying. Marc Gasol is someone that also could be good. There's potential, but Lowry's really got to step up.
He does.
If we're going to beat the Bucks and even contend.
Next game's tomorrow on Tuesday.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm really curious for that.
I mean, obviously we don't want to jump the gun, but we do want to address it and see.
Yeah,
hope it never happens again.
I mean, I hope it happens. Maybe we're the good luck charm for when we call him out, he starts to perform. I know we had that situation with Patrick Laine. He's got 3 goals in 3 games for them. We were chirping him when they were saying he was hot after 1 period, but he's been playing well. But yeah, hoping they can start doing much better. Moving on to my favorite news of the week, easily one of my. It's been so exciting. Tiger Woods won his first major championship since 2008.
Yeah, and his first Masters since 2005.
I think around there. I know I don't have it written down,
but yeah. Good for him.
Oh, yeah. You're so happy to see him come back from what he's been through with personal struggles he's gone through. I think he's better with that. All the different injuries and surgeries that he's gone through, really being able to come back and succeed. It's just so nice to see. And someone that, like, when I'm golfing, it's like, ooh, when I was younger, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be like Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? That's the goal, to where you have your like you for Matt Sundin in hockey. It's that superstar professional player that you want to be. You pretend to be like them when you're a kid.
So you're over the moon.
Yeah, I'm so happy, and I know a bunch of my buddies back in Richmond Hill are happy about it too.
Yeah.
And I would make as bold a claim to say Tiger Woods is the most dominant athlete of all time.
Athlete
in his sport, yeah.
Oh, in his sport.
In his sport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's better than Michael Jordan at basketball. No.
Dominant athlete. Period. No, in golf.
The most dominant in his sport. Like, I think he's more dominant in golf than Jordan was in basketball. Oh, just as an example.
Okay. That's what you meant.
Yeah, because within 8 years, from from 2000 2008, he won 13 major championships. Then that major championship, there's only 4 of them happen each year, right? There's the Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open, and the PGA Championship. And golf's one of the sports to where any golfers out there know, it's so easy to not be at peak performance every week when you play. So often there's the number 1 ranked guy. I remember last year was Dustin Johnson. He didn't come in first in every single tournament.
Right. It's
very rare to where top ranked golfers will win, because anybody can get hot in a 4-day tournament. Meanwhile, it's likely that the Warriors, who finished first in the West, or the Bucks, who finished first in the East, will likely win the championship. It's a little different in hockey, as we've seen with Tampa Bay, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that.
To where golf's one of the sports where it's hardest to be consistent at.
That's fair. I mean, I never played. I played golf once. So
yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
For those of us who have played a decent amount, we know one day you could be shooting lights out, the next day you want to sell your clubs. Right? That's just the super, like, that just happens, to where one day you're lighting it out, one day you're not. To where if someone was able to be that dominant, that consistently, then that's the guy that I think is.
So you believe he's farther above the rest of his sport levels than any other athlete in their respective sports?
Yeah. In his prime.
Yeah,
I would say for sure.
That's fair to say. I think I could agree with that. I mean, maybe we'll talk about that later if we have another
yeah.
discussion. But right now, I currently agree with you. Can't think of anyone else who really rises that far above.
There's some sports, like, I know Roger Federer might be something that someone pull up. He's been super great for so long. Serena Williams was also someone that's unreal. Tennis is something like that, to where I would say it's more, the skill really determines who wins more often.
Yeah.
To where it's like the best tennis players, it's one-on-one, it's more predictable, to where if you're good, you can keep being good and keep winning. Meanwhile, golf, it's something along the lines of some new guy can get hot every week. And one thing even that's underrated about golf is the mental aspect of things, because going into the final Sunday, Masters Sunday, Tiger was down, I think, a shot or two to Francesco Molinari, who is a guy that's been playing really well. Going into Sunday, he didn't have a single bogey for the 3 days going into it, which is huge. I know he did that when he won the Open last year, but he double bogeyed twice in that round. I think because the pressure was on him that Tiger's playing well again. So many people are there watching. He just got in his own head, hit a few in the water, and then ruined it for himself. Because it's so easy to just one little mistake can ruin you from contention. Put it in the water, you drop, penalty stroke, you drop back to where you were. That's 2 strokes put onto your score in the professional scene. 2 strokes goes a long way, especially when you're in the last 4 holes of a championship.
Yeah.
So that's why I definitely congrats to Tiger. Huge fan of him. So happy he was able to come back on top.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Great comeback.
I'm happy the way he's turned himself around. I think he was so dominant for so long. Everyone's favorite player, and then there was some personal stuff.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see him come back from that, and I think it's not just about his performance in the game, but also like the way he's really carried himself.
Yeah.
And almost seemed to like turn his life around. It's a very big redemption story.
Yeah,
it's the redemption story.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying is the redemption story. I remember last year when he won, I think it was the Players' Championship during the FedEx Cup. Like, that even felt bigger to me because that was the first tournament he won in years. I remember that was huge. I was watching that downstairs on our couch. Yeah, vivid memory. It's like, where were you when this happened? Where were you when Tiger won his first championship in a while? Where were you when he won the Masters for the first time in 15 years or whatever it may be? Yeah, the kitchen table, pretty much. Avoiding studying for my exam. I mean, I always study for my exam, parents, if you're watching. But yeah, definitely super happy for Tiger. Hopefully he's able to succeed. Maybe have another year of the Tiger where he wins all the majors. I'd love to see that.
Maybe send us some money that he won.
Oh, just let me play with you. Honestly, nothing I would love more. So yeah, I would say that definitely wraps it up for the news portion, talking about Tiger Woods, talking about the Raptors and Lowry, talking about the LA Lakers. All right. So yeah, Ben, tell me about this game that you have scheduled.
Yeah, so let's transition to game time, as we always do.
Yes.
We need a jingle.
If anyone wants to submit a jingle, we'd love to play it beforehand.
Nice game time jingle. So DM us your submissions.
Yeah, we'd love to.
At the BinkCast Podcast.
Also follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Also rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Subtle plug.
So this game, it's 10 questions, and I'm going to ask you to rank the top 10. Maybe not rank, but like answer me the top 10 NHL active point leaders. So I'll read out the specifics of what I mean here. It can be a little confusing. So I have a top 10 list here.
Okay.
The player needs to be an active player in the NHL. Mm-hmm. It's not like Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux or anyone. Okay. It's people that are currently playing in the NHL, and it's their all-time career points. So assists and goal points. Yeah. Right? And not basketball points, NHL points. And I have nationalities next to them if you need a hint, and then if you need a hint after that, because some of them can be tricky, I have their divisions on which their current team plays for.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope, I think it's making sense. So I'm just guessing. It's a lot of old guys is what I'm thinking is going to be. Guys that have been in the league for a while. Guys that were good when they were younger and maybe just old and scraping by now. Mm-hmm. What do you say? All right, so can I just sort of start guessing whenever?
Where do you want to start?
Oh, I'd say just maybe blurt out some names, see if I can just get the top 10. Because I don't know if I'd be able to get them in order.
Get them in order?
Per se. So what if I just try to say a name, and if they're on there, I get one.
Sounds good.
We'll try to work. It'll be different from a bit of our other games, maybe. Just trying to figure it out. Won't be as points based.
You can list the top 10.
We'll see if I can get it just with some hints.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Patrick Marleau's got to be on there.
He is number 4.
Number 4. Wow, number 4.
Yeah, Patrick Marleau is number 4.
Okay, so I just got to think of some old guys.
He has 1,166
Ooh, that helps. That I want to say knowing the amount helps. Is Sidney Crosby up there?
Sidney Crosby is number 2.
Number 2. Okay, so this could also be guys maybe nearing the end of their prime that are also pretty good. Would Ovechkin be up there?
Ovechkin is number 3.
Number 3, so who could be...
So you have Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, and Patrick Marleau. Sidney Crosby and Ovechkin are separated by 5 points.
5 points? I know.
Crosby has 1,216. and Ovechkin has 1,211.
Next, I know Crosby was drafted 1 year later than Ovechkin as well, so he's getting there. I don't know. Bold prediction. I think if Ovechkin plays well, he's going to pass Gretzky in all-time goals. Wow. Another bold statement of mine.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I know. I've listened to some people on TSN talk about it, and if he's as consistent as he has been maybe in the last few years, and if he plays for longer, I think it's possible. And I think he even came out and said that was one of his goals, is to try to do that.
To pass Gretzky?
Yeah, I think that'd be so cool to see, because I know there was even more Gretzky stats, but he has more assists than the person in second place has points total.
Wow.
When it comes to all time. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that when you're looking for it.
That's crazy.
But I thought it was so interesting that what people say is like he could have had the most total points all time without taking a shot. But knowing how Gretzky played hockey, all of his shots were along the ice. So probably a lot of rebound goals, assists with that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, off the top of my head, I couldn't think of many. Maybe try giving me some nationality. No, maybe some divisions. We'll start with that first.
Okay. So I'm gonna bump down to. So you have 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if we can get number 1.
Number 1? Okay.
He's Canadian.
Okay.
And he's in the Pacific Division currently.
Pacific Division. Do you have he's a forward? He has to be.
They're all forwards.
Yeah. The Pacific Division. So that's the team that's the Predators, the Jets. Is it? I'm trying to think of really who's in the playoffs right now. The Blues. Is it? It's not. No, they're all forwards. I don't know. What team is he on?
He's on the San Jose Sharks.
Is it Pavelski?
It's not.
Is it Thornton?
It is Joe Thornton.
Big boy, Jumbo Joe.
Big Jumbo Joe.
Yeah.
He has 1,478 points.
He's number 1?
Number 1.
Wow.
Of current active.
Wow, go him.
Yeah.
Still no ring, unfortunately.
Joe Thornton number 1, Sidney Crosby number 2, Ovechkin number 3, Patrick Marleau number 4.
Marleau number 4.
Let's see if we can get number 5. Russian.
Number 5, Russian. What division is he in?
Metropolitan.
So in the Metropolitan, that's the Capitals. Is it? It's not Backstrom.
No.
Is he on the Capitals?
No.
Penguins?
Yes.
A Russian on. Evgeny Malkin. Yeah.
You don't initially think of him as Russian, do you?
No.
That's
you should though.
You should.
It's such a Russian name.
Evgeny Malkin. But yeah, no. So he's number 5. He has 1,002 points. Number 6, Canadian.
In the
Central Division. This one's a little bit tricky.
Is a Canadian in the Central Division?
I'll tell you the team if you know.
Yeah. What team is he on?
Minnesota Wild.
Zach Parise.
No. He's American.
Oh, oops. That's awkward. Canadian, you said?
Yeah. On the Minnesota Wild. Hasn't always been on the Wild. Didn't score most of these points on the Wild.
Oh, I know. When you're gonna when was he traded? Do you know? Was it pretty recently?
I couldn't tell you. I feel like it's relatively recently. I don't know.
I don't know. Who is it?
Eric Stahl.
He's on the Wild now. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I thought I was curious as to where I knew he wasn't on Carolina anymore.
Yeah. I remember the Stahl brothers used to be so popular in like the mid-late 2000s when Jordan was on the Pittsburgh when they were winning. Eric was super dominant in Carolina.
Mark was
in New York. He was playing well there.
Yeah, Eric Stahl, one of my top 6.
Yeah.
Go check out podcast number 3.
Yeah. Callback.
Our top childhood players. Yeah, so he's number 6. He has 974 points.
This is getting much harder than I thought it would be.
It is. Number 7, American Central Division.
Central Division American. Is Pavelski on this list?
No. He's the only American on this list.
He's the only American in the Central? What team is he on?
Chicago Blackhawks.
Is it Patrick Kane?
Patrick Kane.
Really?
Yeah. Patrick Kane has 938 points.
Next, I know he hasn't been in the league a super long time. He was drafted in 08, I think? Maybe around there?
I believe so. Yeah, he is the only American on the list. There's a lot of Canadians. But
yeah, good.
There we go. Represent, boys.
Yeah, there you
go. Number 8, Canadian Pacific Division.
Canadian. What team?
Anaheim.
Getzlaf.
Ryan Getzlaf. 923 points.
Yeah. I remember I had his curve on one of my hockey sticks when I was younger. I felt super sick.
Does he have like a specific.
Oh, it's like the way companies do it is just their branded athletes are way they demonstrate curves. Like NHL athletes change their curve like super often.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, yeah, it's just the way they brand it.
So it was like, oh, you have the Ryan Getzlaf curve.
Yeah, it was basically like curve number 5.
Gotcha.
A different way to do it. Yeah.
Number 9, Canadian Central Division, Dallas Stars.
It couldn't be Jamie Benn, could it?
It's not.
Yeah. Like he's good, but he's not that good.
I don't know if you'll be surprised when you hear it, but you'll be like, oh, right.
Oh, one of those classic moments.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Jason Spezza.
Oh, right! Are you psychic? Yeah, that Ottawa team was pretty good.
Yeah.
Back then.
Jason Spezza, Daniel Alfredson.
Danny Heatley All-Star, can't forget about him. Mr. 50.
Danny Heatley.
Mr. 50 in 07 will forever be remembered.
Yes, he's number 9, 1915.
Okay, number 10.
Slovenian.
What? Aleš Hemsky.
No. Pacific Division.
What team?
The LA Kings.
Is it Kopitar?
Anze Kopitar.
Wow.
Number 10.
Yeah, Kings have not been doing too great this year.
No.
In general, so it makes sense why we wouldn't. I know, I had him on my fantasy team. He has not been doing great this year.
He has 888 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a bit of a quiet one. Hope they're going to get a little better for his sake.
Yeah.
No, he always had the black tinted visor. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought it was at the same time cool as also I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But like every time I would make a character in like an NHL game,
I
would always tint out
black
the visor.
tin, left side jersey tuck. Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. 99 overall rating.
Oh. As I would be if I was in the NHL today.
Yeah, so top 10.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
I was surprised making lists. I was like, Anze Kopitar.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I was like, I forgot Jason Spezza was still
Yeah,
playing.
I know he's getting paid $7 million.
That's a lot of money.
For a not great player.
I mean, I didn't really keep score there, but I didn't really.
I know, it was fun.
To.
It was very interesting to see.
Very the list.
Fun, different style of things we're going to do.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Game time, jingle.
So now off to sort of some stuff that we've seen in the NHL playoffs. Those started, I think it was almost a week ago now, maybe 6 days. I think some teams have played 3 games has been the max, so
yeah, that's right.
about a week. Yeah, I think a week today maybe even. It would have started.
It was the last week.
So we'll go throughout the Eastern Conference, then throughout the Western Conference. We'll talk about what's been going on in each series that's so far.
How
maybe
we're feeling about it.
Yeah, maybe make a prediction on how it's going to end. Guaranteed some of these ending predictions would have been very different when the series started, but we'll see. All right, so we'll start off with some of the hometown favorites, the Leafs versus the Bruins.
Yeah, Leafs versus Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this story a few times.
Yeah, we'd like to see it go a different way this time.
So, current update, Kadri is suspended.
He has been. I checked before. I know he's having a hearing today. I don't know if it's been officially suspended. I think that if he is to get suspended, I think it's minimum 6 games that he would get because of a repeat offender clause that he's gone through in the last 18 months.
For the remainder of the first round.
Oh, when did that come out? Minutes ago, I would think.
Yeah, like half an hour ago.
Yeah, very interesting.
Ago. That's long.
Well, a repeat offender for a cross-check to the teeth? I don't blame him.
It was to the teeth. I didn't
it was right.
it.
Yeah, basically it was right to like the jaw area. He cross-checked him.
Dang. Okay, yeah. So he's suspended until. I mean, I would like to say until we come.
Until the second round, hopefully.
But you never know.
But given that, I'm not too sure.
It's 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
The series is tied, which I'm honestly thrilled about. We went into Boston game 1 and took that game.
We stole game 1. I don't know how the rest of the series is going to go without Kadri, though.
Neither do I.
Just right from the get-go, I want to say it was a very selfish play to an extent.
Yeah. Though
he was protecting Patrick Marleau after he got hit, which was a legal hit. Maybe it was a bit of an unwritten rule not to hit them into the corner of the glass, but playoff hockey's a different beast. To where if just because someone gets hit doesn't mean you can go and cross-check them. I know they were fighting all night with those scraps they've had, and when you need them a little bit.
Was it Coyle?
No, it was DeBrusk.
DeBrusk, oh
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was going on all game. But if I'm a teammate of Kadri, I'd be pissed at him. It's like, listen, you have to keep your emotions in check because we can't win without you.
Yeah, no.
Even like he's been one of the better players so far of the series, I would say. To where if you're gonna win against the Bruins, you're gonna need all of your top guys.
And you're gonna need someone who's physical.
Yeah.
And the first person that comes to mind when it comes to physical game on Toronto
who
is Kadri.
Who is not a physical team. You need someone that's going to be able to push back in a clean way, of course. I mean, whenever I've experienced playing hockey and you get angry at someone, you put it on the scoreboard as your show of revenge, right? You do something like that. Even in the NHL stance, something I might not necessarily do is clean hit him, maybe. Fight him, maybe. All this stuff that wouldn't get you suspended from a game, like how he got suspended last year. It was a very different situation, but if Kadri's the type of guy to let his emotions get the best of him and get suspended in every playoff series he's a part of, that's not a championship team, because he's that third line depth center, that physical body that you mentioned before, that agitator that you want on your team.
So based off of that, what's your prediction for how this is going to end, and in how many games?
Boston in 6.
Boston in 6.
Yeah, that's my official prediction.
So you're saying Leafs are getting one more?
Yeah, I think the Leafs are going to win one more, to where I think that people are just down now that Kadri's been suspended. They could be upset at him, if anything. That completely ruins our depth, as we've had before, to where who's going to move up to that third line? Gauthier? I doubt it. Would they just play Matthews and Tavares more? Probably, but you can't play them too much or they're going to get exhausted. Yeah. I like to see them play better, but I don't. I think Boston. I had Boston winning in 7 before, but now with the loss of Kadri,
Boston in 6.
Boston 6. Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I don't know. I always like to make bold predictions about Toronto teams.
Yeah, we like to say. I hope Toronto wins. Yeah. I mean, I either win because I win the prediction, or I win because Toronto wins.
I'll say Leafs in 7.
You think that's still gonna go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's really going to depend on Matthews. If he's going to be able to step up.
Yeah.
Because the defense has been a struggle that everybody knows, to where we're going to start needing to score more than a goal or 2 per game. Yeah. If we're going to win.
I acknowledge that I will probably be wrong, but I would like to say, I think there is always that chance. I think by taking game 1, it was huge.
Yeah, it was a good momentum booster, but given that we got dominated in game 2.
I mean, it was the same score, just 4-1 versus 4-1.
But I feel like their version of the game 2 is more of a domination against us than ours was against them.
Flat back at us. Yeah, it's true. A lot of our goals were very breakaway. Yeah. But still, I'll stick with my Leafs in 7. Because
I hope you're right. For the sake of all Toronto fans, I hope you're right.
Tampa Bay Columbus.
Oh my gosh! What is happening?
I'm so happy with the way this is going.
Oh, I love it. Well, if Toronto wins, we're going to be playing Columbus.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'll be pretty happy about that, but oh my gosh. Tampa Bay.
What's going on?
Pick it up, boys. Steven Stamkos, 0 points, -5. Nikita Kucherov, 0 points, -2. Can you name their leading goal scorer in the playoffs so far? Bet you can't. Eric Cernak.
I was going to say Braden Point.
No, I don't know if he has any points either. I just thought he's leading with 3 assists. Vasilevsky's at a .866 save percentage.
Ooh, .86.
Yeah, not great. Well, we'll go into Columbus later, and what I said when we were first talking about the Leafs, great goaltending is going to win you championships. What do you remember the number I said when it came to the save percentage that you're going to need?
9.5. 9.1.
Oh my gosh.
No,
9.2.
9.2.
0.92. If you're above that, that's generally good goaltending, and that's what will likely lead you to a championship. So, oh my gosh, Tampa, step it up. Listen, your top guys really got to keep going because your depth is getting you your goals. Just bring it back to basics, get on the power play, put Stamkos on the top right-hand circle, and just give him one-timers all day.
I mean, they have to win the next 4 games.
4 straight, which is
4 straight
given
games.
The momentum.
And the next game is in Columbus.
Yeah.
And they have any type of momentum you could possibly
want. Oh, I mean, we'll skip ahead. I think they're going to get swept.
I think Columbus in 4.
Yeah, Columbus in 4. Maybe they can get 1, but no chance Tampa's coming back. They've lost all the momentum. All their players are down. Columbus has been playing great. Duchesne's got 5 points, I think, in the 3 games. Everyone's been counting him out. I know some podcasts that I listen to, and TSN Radio is like he doesn't perform in the clutch. He's been playing great. He's been playing awesome.
What's Bobrovsky's save percentage?
.940. So he's been playing. We'll get into this later. The next series, Pittsburgh, New York. It's a very similar situation.
Robin Leonard.
Yeah, but I think it all started because again, it started with Tampa Bay going down 3-0. Winning 3-0 in the first game.
Yeah,
game 1 they were up 3-0. I remember we were watching it. This series is over. Switch over to Pittsburgh. Then they came back. Tortorella's speech was what changed the series.
It's intense.
No doubt, it's very intense, and like we were talking about, like we'd get motivated by that.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool to see. So I think Tortorella is the main reason because he's such a good coach.
Yeah,
he's very hard on people.
He's passionate too,
and very passionate, but he wants to win. I find some people. I think it was Anthony Duclair earlier in the season. He was a player to where that's just not his style. But Torch goes hard, and if that motivates you, that's the type of player he wants on their team.
I mean, Columbus, you have basically anyone who's not a Tampa Bay fan cheering you on right now.
Yeah. I
Because
think
no one wants to see...
it would be so good for them to sweep the President's Trophy winner in the first round.
Like the people who are saying, all the experts before the season started, before the series started, saying series over in 4 games.
Yeah,
it will be.
I know,
just not for the
to be fair, they could claim some credit back. Like we said, it'd be over in 4 games. But Bobrovsky also all series he was also on my fantasy team. Mm-hmm. He was so inconsistent when it came to playing
during the season.
His save percentage was below .9 for most of the season.
Wow.
Although he's back to his Vezina shape to where he's at .94 right now, which is what I mentioned. If your goaltending's above .92, then your team's going to be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Generally, because your goalie is the most important position on your player on your team. If someone's able to stop 94% of the shots shot at them, you're probably going to win some games. You're probably going to win some games, if not some series.
Yeah, absolutely. So Columbus, we all want you.
Yeah, it's got to be 4. Maybe Columbus in 5 if Tampa's really able to get off their butt and start going.
Desperation last
it's so hard to sweep because the other teams like we are not getting swept.
Just for the sake of pride.
Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to put the brooms back in the closet and just try to win one more.
Let's say Columbus in 4 though.
I want to see Columbus in 4. I'm going to be so excited. I think that's going to be a good game.
Oh,
that's going to be a really good game because Tampa's going to be firing on all cylinders. Kucherov got 118 points I think in the regular season, 0 in these last 3 games. Same with Stamkos.
I mean, he was out for game 3.
Yeah. Oh, he was. You're right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But listen, their top guys got to step up. I say that's their biggest problem.
Definitely.
I think Hedman too was also not in game 3. I think he was hurt as well. I think I remember hearing that off the top of my head. But yeah, we're agreeing Columbus in 4. They've been steamrolling them so far.
Next.
Up next, one of the Metropolitan divisions.
He missed game 3.
He missed game 3, yeah. Pittsburgh and New York. Another very similar series to Tampa Bay. People have been discounting New York ever since the season started. Even when they were leading the Metropolitan. Yeah. They finished in second, but everyone's like, oh, it's New York. Their goaltending is better.
.951.
Their goaltending is better than Bobrovsky, and we were just praising Bobrovsky. Who would have thought that, Robin Lehner. Robin Lehner would be such a Cinderella story, unsung hero type of player, because he's not the youngest guy.
No.
If I remember right. He's been playing out of his skates. No doubt he's the main reason they're really able to stay in this. Because I don't think he's been scored. They scored 2 goals on him in game 1. Ever since then, it was 1-1.
I think so, yeah.
It's like also their first line has been really stepping it up. Eberle and Barzal and Andersley, those 3 guys on their top line, I think they're definitely one of the, if not the best playoff lines currently going.
Oh, I mean, they've been.
Yeah, well, I mean, producing. It's hard. Well, again, similar like what we were saying about Tampa Bay and Stamkos and Kucherov 0 points. Crosby 0 points -4. Jake Gensel 0 points -3. Listen, I heard something like this is Crosby's first time not scoring a point in a playoff series in the first 3 games or something like that.
So the series is currently
it's
3-0.
3-0. I forgot.
Of
New York.
Do you think a sweep is coming?
No.
You think?
I think this is a little different to where if there's one guy I'm betting on,
Sidney Crosby.
This is Sidney Crosby who's going to be like, we're not losing this.
So what are you saying for that? Are you saying
6?
Islanders in 6?
Islanders in 6.
So Islanders in 5.
You think 5? Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the 2. I don't think they're going to win it in 7. I don't think they're going to lose it in 7. It's just that, and they aren't getting swept.
No.
And Crosby's going to be able to boys, we're not losing this. No chance. And then
piggyback.
Yeah, get in my backpack, boys. I'm carrying us to game 5. That's where it's it depends if it keeps going. Game 6, then it's no chance. Right now, too, Murray is at a .902. Not as bad as we've seen some other people. Not as bad as we will see some people as well. But Matt Murray has been the living definition of inconsistent when it comes to goalies. Ever since, imagine they kept Fleury instead of him. That's rough because Murray's much younger and he's getting better. But Fleury, we'll get into him later. I love him the way he's been playing lately, and he played last year as well. But yeah, Islanders in 6. I would say it's going to be closer coming in than the Tampa Bay one. I would think for sure.
Side note: do you know what Frederik Andersen's save percentage has been in the playoffs this year?
I think that's been above .92.
.937.
Yeah, so that's really not bad. Well, I mean
that's not guaranteed.
They played 2 games,
but I mean,
Toronto gets outshot every game.
Your logic holds true.
Yeah. I'm curious, what's Tuukka Rask's save percentage while you're going down? I don't know. Toronto's also notorious for getting outshot, so I wonder if it's like that as well.
Yeah,
But like we were saying beforehand, I don't know if we said it on the pod or not, but Toronto-Boston's going to be the closest series.
It's going to go to 6 or 7
It's
games.
going to 6 or 7, no doubt. It's the only one that's really guaranteed to go to 7 at this point. I'd say. All right, so let's move on to the last one in the Eastern Conference, Washington, Carolina.
I mean, this is going pretty much exactly how we expected it to.
Exactly. Washington's up 2-0, I think.
Yeah, 2-0.
In the series, and they're playing tonight as well.
Yeah, they are. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm betting probably another win out of these guys. I mean, they won last year, and they know what it's like, and they're so close they want to taste it again. They finished first in the Metropolitan, playing the other wild card in Carolina.
Tuukka Rask has .937.
Yeah.
Same
very similar.
Percentage.
Yeah. But I don't think that the Carolina, pretty decent defense, right? They got Marshall Falk. They've got Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah.
Some other guys like that. I know because there were talks of maybe getting someone from them because they have so many good defensemen. Forwards are inconsistent. They've got Teravainen and Aho are their main guys. No one that's really a stud, and Peter Mrazek's in net.
I'm happy they made it this far.
I mean, yeah, they made it. They made it to the playoffs.
I mean, shout out to Carolina. They've been having fun this season.
Which I respect.
It just looks like a fun team to cheer
Exactly.
for.
Like you want to have fun when you're playing.
You're not expecting them to win the cup, but you're also you know what? They have fun. They've had a fun season.
Exactly. It's like your little brother or something that you see playing. It's like, you know what? They're having a good time. That's what matters most.
Fun,
exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's basically what's to be expected. They're up 2-0 in the series. I think again, Holtby is a guy that's you can't go against him based on what we've seen last year and in previous years. Washington in 5.
I was going to say Washington in 5 as well.
Yeah.
So I think we can agree Washington in 5.
Yeah. Hopefully Carolina can get 1. I mean, I think they've been playing pretty well against them, so maybe I could see a sweep. But I think definitely Washington 5.
Western Conference.
Calgary, Colorado.
I mean, I was kind of expecting Calgary to go up 2-0 right now. They are 1-1.
Yep.
And I think they're playing tonight.
I think so.
So we'll see where it goes. I am fully expecting Calgary to come out victorious in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with the way Calgary's been playing. In the season, I honestly, if you told me at the beginning of the season Calgary's going to be first seed in the West, I would have been like, no.
Yeah, was it?
Nowhere close.
3rd in the NHL total. Was
yeah,
what they were?
Yeah. I'm like, not a chance. But Canadian team,
yeah,
playing well.
Never not happy for a Canadian team to succeed.
They have a lot of good offensive production.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Defense. I mean, they have a Norris candidate, possible likely winner in Giordano. They also got Mike Smith in net.
That's their downfall.
Yeah.
I think if there is going to be a reason for them to downfall, it's probably Mike Smith.
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing well so far. I think I was looking, and his save percentage was above my .92.
It's Mike Smith and David Riddick.
Yeah, but I doubt he's going to play. I think they're going to stick with Smith, but he's been playing well so far, but that's never a guarantee for a guy that we haven't seen really be great all season.
Yeah.
So you never know you're going to get. But I really like that Colorado top line.
Oh,
it's so exciting to watch McKinnon play. I don't watch him live all the time, but you see highlights. Super fast. Rantanen's a super talented guy as well. You got Barry who's playing defense. I noticed they weren't playing Varlamov in net.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
I didn't put it down here. Grubauer, I think, is who it is.
Grubauer, he is.
Yeah.
He is
so I found it surprising that they started him instead of Varlamov because I thought Varlamov was playing well this year.
Or he's at least their starting goaltender, you think.
Yeah. And fine. Calgary, because technically the way this would be seeded in the West is 1 versus 8.
Yeah.
Right? Because since they face the lower wild card seed. Calgary, to me, isn't a team that shouts first in the West, dominant play.
No.
Because I don't think they're going to get to the conference finals.
It shouts wow, we made it here.
Yeah, it's who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Where I think they're a better team overall. They're great young core. Gaudreau's good. Monahan's good. Tkachuk is super underrated force.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty hates him. There's a reason for it because he's so good at what he does. I'm saying Calgary in 6.
Yeah, I was going to say Calgary in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Not 7. I don't think they're going to let it get that far, but I do think that Colorado is going to at least get 2 games on them.
It's just the inconsistent goaltending is something that I'm still harping on because that's the most important part of hockey when it really comes down to the nitty-gritty is if you got a goalie that can stand on his head every so often win you a 1-0, 2-1 game. That's what you're going to need.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Nashville, Dallas?
Nashville, Dallas. So that's basically 2 versus 7.
Yeah.
So they're doing it. I say this is probably one of the most even series out there. could not guarantee you going into this. Even going into it, I'm like, anybody could win this.
Yeah.
It's like Nashville's good. They've got good defending in right. They have Ryan Ellis, PK Subban, someone else I'm forgetting, Ekholm as well. Pekka Rinne, who won the Vezina. Yeah, Roman Josi, that's a good call.
Roman
Yeah.
Josi.
Pekka Rinne, who won the Vezina last year. Notorious for being the Kyle Lowry of hockey, to where he hasn't been great in the playoffs. Their offense is just really... their offense is just the inconsistency.
Yeah.
I find right. They traded for Wayne Simmons, but they got Ryan Johansson.
Victor Arvidsson.
Philip Forsberg. Of course, they're good, but their offense isn't why they're so successful.
No.
Right? It's their lockdown defense.
So, currently series is tied 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Nashville in 7.
Yeah, that's what I put as well. I also said Nashville in 7, but I could see Dallas doing it. I think Ben Bishop's really going to be the game changer, the decision maker. Because like I mentioned, it's like, if you could help them win a 1-0 game, because Tyler Seguin's a guy that I think super underrated. He's so talented offensively, to where if Bishop can stand on his head and win a 2-1, 1-0, I could see Dallas winning it. Really,
Dallas in 7 potentially.
I said Nashville.
I said Nashville in 7, but you could potentially be Dallas.
Yeah,
it's close enough.
All right, so on to the last one: Winnipeg, St. Louis. One that's also been similar to Nashville. Okay, it's just off-topic rant. If the playoff format was the way I want to do it, I think that Vegas and San Jose should meet in the conference finals instead of
where they are now.
Where they were. Well, if anything, they would meet in the second round based on their Pacific standards. If, let's say, San Jose finished ahead of Calgary, which was very possible, it's just I would pick any of Calgary, San Jose, Vegas to win the Central Division. I think they're better than any of those three teams there that we see. Because St. Louis, Winnipeg has been very close as well. Right, I think is that 1-1 as well? I don't know if you have that.
St. Louis, Winnipeg is 2-1 for St. Louis.
For St. Louis. And I think they won the first two games.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I thought they did, though.
I think they went up 2-0 and then Winnipeg stole the last game.
But the one thing, I want St. Louis to do well.
Me too.
In January, they were 31st in the NHL.
Really? And now
they're
contending for second round.
I have them in the conference finals in our bracket that we have against Vegas. That's who I think is going to... I know, we can get to that later.
Yeah.
Maybe a different podcast, but I think St. Louis could do pretty well. I think Tarasenko is waking up. Binnington has been a guy they've called up, and he's been so underrated because Jake Allen's never been too great. That used to be their number one guy. So I'm glad they were able to find that good rookie goalie. Well, he's classified as rookie. Jordan Whittington, as some have been saying. To where... what else do I have on this? Hellbuck needs to do a little bit better, I think, in order to maintain, because I think he's still below a .9 when it comes to save percentage. Winnipeg top guys have been doing pretty well. Like, Laine's got 3, I'm pretty sure Wheeler and Scheifele does as well. They're sort of the reverse Tampa Bay, to where their depth guys could even step up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Start being a little more productive. I have St. Louis in 7. I really like the way they've been playing, and I think they have the motivation more than Winnipeg to really come out on top of the series.
I have St. Louis in 6.
St. Louis in 6.
So I'd love to see that.
Yeah, well,
I'd love to see that.
Because Winnipeg, Laine, he's been playing well, but inconsistent. But I think St. Louis just has the motivation to do more.
They've been, on a roll.
Yeah, because their second half of the season has been great.
The hottest team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
Yeah, good for them. Last but not least.
Yeah.
Vegas, San Jose.
Vegas, San Jose.
Vegas is currently up 2-1 against San Jose.
Yeah. Mark Stone got a hat trick in their last game.
Really?
He got 8 points in 3 games.
Good for him.
Yeah, it was a great... so nice for him. Sounds like something my mom would say. Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vegas has made a great acquisition for him at the deadline. And they're still like that. There's no one really fantastic there. They made some trades. They got Pacioretty as well earlier on. I think he's on the second line. Carlson is there, William Carlson, and can't think of the other guy's name off the top of my head. That's okay. I'm sure it'll come to me. But they're a good all-around team. There's something to where last year they were the no one wants us group of misfits that are going to come together, and they almost won, which was incredible. Marchessault, that's who it is. Got it.
That's it.
Yep. Fleury was playing great all season. Maybe Vezina. I heard some talk about that. I'd love to see it. Nice Canadian guy as well. Where Fleury, I think his save percentage hasn't been great. That's all I'm about. Save percentage is my stat. Above .92, and I'm happy with that. But San Jose is the one thing to where they only won 3 of their last 12 games going into the playoffs.
That's not good.
No, they were definitely slumping not that great. Right before the series started, I was talking with one of our housemates, and I'm like, he was like, "Ooh, I think San Jose is going to win." I'm like, "I'm guaranteeing you they aren't getting out of the first round."
So you have Las Vegas.
I got Vegas in, I think, 6 is what I said. Because, like I was saying before, San Jose is a team that should be meeting them in the finals. Ideally, I'd like for them to go far. Carlson's been playing great in the playoffs. You always want Joe Thornton to succeed, like you said. He's been a guy that's been around a long time. He's been so good. So you want him to win. Martin Jones isn't a goaltender that I would want on my team going for a playoff run.
No.
But
you'd take Fleury over Jones any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Any day. But yeah, I think if Fleury played better in the first few games, I think they could have won in 5.
Yeah, I don't know about this series. This was the toughest one for me.
It was very, very... I like it to watch.
Because when you look at the names, names of players only, San Jose should win.
Yeah.
But when you look at performance, goaltending, I would say. I'm going to go with San Jose in 7.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, that's definitely the most, other than Toronto, Boston, I say the most exciting one to watch. It's going to come down to the wire a lot more.
I mean, it's been exciting so far.
It's been so exciting because it's a lot. The whole Tampa Bay Columbus has been so cool to be a part of, and a lot of teams that you don't expect to do well doing well is what's been great. Because you're like, a lot of the West teams even are much closer than they probably thought it would be.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, very exciting to see what's going to happen because I could not tell you who's going to win the Cup after seeing these first few games.
Toronto.
I love it. Look, if Toronto beats Boston,
it's possible.
It's so much more possible now.
Possible.
Now that we aren't playing Tampa Bay, it's so much more possible.
Yeah.
I'd say that about wraps it up.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, guys. This is our 5th episode, so make sure to check out our other 4 on...
Other 2 or 3 we can't afford the
yes,
Spotify... the SoundCloud account, so...
Right. Check those out on Apple Podcasts. We're also on YouTube. This is... check us out on YouTube at the BinkCast Podcast is where we are. Follow us on Instagram at the BinkCast Podcast. Our link to our Apple Podcast is in the bio of our page. Follow me on Instagram at BenJudgeAustin and follow my co-host David at david.d.rogers. And thanks for listening.